Just been reflecting this week around a theme that came up yesterday at tea time. We were talking about a little bit about, I was speaking about finishing and how it's very easy to develop a habit around, I have to get this finished, I'm going to get that finished. And so I'm going on retreat for 3 weeks, in less than a week, and then after that I'll be in and out of the community for a very short period of time before leaving for a trip with Lumpur to Thailand and possibly India. So there's a sense in the mind that things are wrapping up, and even a sense of just a lot of change occurring. As Ajahn has returned, but he's been in and out quite a lot for the Vasa and now on retreat. So it'll be almost very much a more full transition for him, stepping into the abbot position without having me there, and so anticipating a change in my own mind, and also for the community. But this idea of like finishing things up and tying up loose ends, it's very much a sense of what many of us want to do. And we want to try to end this and end that and move on to the next thing. So the challenge that the Buddha gave us is to really see that this isn't possible. There's only one finished thing that occurs in the Buddha's teaching, and that's Nibbana. Other than that, it's just an entire life of unfinished loose ends until the next life and the next life. And so I've just been reflecting on that sense of desire to wrap everything up, to get everything done, and have the responsibilities that I have sort of come to an end. And mentally trying to prepare myself for that coming to an abruptness, abrupt feeling, because it's just, as I said, it's a bad habit, essentially, creating that sense that I'll get finished, it'll all be wrapped up. And I've talked about this more recently, but the dukkha I'm currently experiencing is because I set that up more recently. It's like, okay, this is getting done, that's getting done, and then the foundation of the building that I was trying to help prepare to be finished was undermined and is going to take a fair amount of work to deal with. And so as we plan for whatever it is we're doing, whether it's just the work period this morning, we had so we had like 5 members of the community go out, and then they were, just within a day, they were all exposed to COVID, and now we have to change our plans. They have to change their plans. We have to change how we're doing things, what we're doing. So this idea of setting up that ending or finishing is just it's just a sort of comedy of errors. And if we can remind ourselves that there's just one finish, then it can prepare the mind for things like difficulties when we think that everything's okay with even just a foundation of building, but the foundation of our own lives. And then that gets taken away. Somebody important to us dies. We lose a limb. Find out that we have cancer or whatever it might be. It wasn't supposed to be this way. This wasn't part of my plan. It's unfair. The more we can practice within each other, the more we can bring that up in our lives. We just don't know, even if we're going to make it out the door this morning. I'm not sure if we're going to be on time for something, or something's going to be very late, and it's not supposed to be this way. It shouldn't be this way. Can't be this way. And this is dukkha. This is how we set ourselves up for it. We conjure it up, as Lumpur says, out of thin air. So, if we're very suspect of that tendency of mind to want to get something done and finish it up, and instead we're saying, well, I don't really know what's going to happen, I'm not sure. It's not sure what's going to happen. Then we just suffer so much less. And we're open to so many other possibilities. I think one of the fascinating things I've recently learned about is that I might be getting it slightly wrong, but I believe that through lots of, I'm not sure what we would call, not psychological tests, but there were a lot of surveys done with people about their lives, and possibly hundreds of thousands, even millions, that were fed into a computer, fed it into an AI algorithm. And what psychologists hadn't found was that one of the predictors of, I believe, a sense of stability that one can have later in life. I'm not sure if it was a predictor for happiness, but it was a predictor for a sense of what, I think, like people not falling into depression. And what was odd was it was just never seen by scientists. And that was that when people experience a physical trauma in their life between the age of, I think, 20 and 30, 20 and 35, somewhere around there, they're much less prone to depression, much less prone to having a more difficult time in the later parts of their life than those people who have not experienced any kind of physical trauma. They haven't broken anything or had to deal with a body that was sick for a very long time. And that makes sense, doesn't it? Because then if people who are living in a way that they're just sort of ignoring their bodies, nothing's wrong, they don't get any indication that they're necessarily experiencing sickness or even aging, then when that comes around, what's going on, 45, 50 years old, and the body has a major trauma, and the mind just can't recover it. It's not supposed to be like this. The habit has been so strong for the prediction that everything was going to be okay, that those people have a really hard time bringing up that sense of anicca into their lives. But yet those people who've had these traumas or experiences, they have a sense, right, this could happen any time, it could happen again. And I dealt with it once before. So that tends to bring up just an automatic sense for those people that, right, anything can happen. So we'll just try to bring this into our mindfulness, our practice with our day, how much we tend to look into planning and how things are going to go, how things are going to be, and bring up that sense of not sure. And then the mind has much more potential for equanimity, for not being so thrown off when there's a different situation or a difficult situation, or something that was unexpected, unexpected, unexpected.